Hey, what's up everybody? Do I have a special treat for you? While everyone else was out partying for Christmas and exchanging gifts, I was at home grinding Summoner Duels S. And the result? Top 100. This is probably the greatest achievement in my life. No joke. And this game mode is fucking brutal. Especially when you get to the upper echelons and start getting matched with some of the best players in Fire Emblem Heroes. So, how did I do it? Well, a good place to start is with the teams. Team 1, I originally had Valenti and Paula instead of Altina, but that doesn't really matter. This was just a hodgepodge of random strong units. I was never going to use this team, and I never did. It did get banned sometimes, which was really weird. I don't know why. I guess people see Summer Edelgard, Eitri, and Arvel and think, oh shit, that's degenerate, and just ban it. Which worked out for me, because the other 3 teams are even more degenerate than that. Team 2 is really stupid. The combination of Brave Seliph and Brave Chrom is almost unparalleled in this game. And if you look on the map here on the right, I have Small Chamber pulled up. And the top 2 positions on the blue side, the top 2 rows, you can just have Brave Chrom to change Fate Brave Seliph over the trench. And because Brave Seliph has 4 movement, you just threaten those top right red units so easily. And it just completely messes up their opening. And speaking of messing up people's openings, Sather does that so well on this map. It's insane. You can also put Sather where you would put Brave Seliph, closer to the trench, or you could put Sather on row 4 on the blue side, and from the farther away from that trench, and you can shut down 2 lanes. Your choice, honestly. But yeah, Sather is amazing on this map, and of course I had to use her. I have note here for Pathfinder support. I wish I had Duo Dogger, but I mean, it's okay. We'll just have to work with what we got. And my note is +5 anyways, so she can be pretty tanky. Next up, I have Team 3. Of course, Flash of Steel Yuri. Yuri and Flash of Steel name a better combination. And of course, I have Lethality on him. So that's amazing. I have a bunch of other really strong units, and I'm surprised this team didn't get banned as much as it did. I think I said that right. Anyways, I was expecting this team to get banned way more because of Duo Chrom and Duo Thor, and Bridal Catria. All three units synergize so well with each other, not only giving triangle attack to units that really appreciate it, but also Duo Chrom with the special acceleration to help out Yuri, and Duo Thor to inflict gravity and neutralize any Pathfinder shenanigans we might run up against. And then finally, Legendary Ninian. This was such a clutch pull on the latest Legendary Hero banner for this month. I didn't have any other Cavalry Dancers, and I was about to place Legendary Azura on this team. But then I got Legendary Ninian, and I'm like, yeah, we're taking this unit. She's really good. And you'll see in some of the matches, in some of the replays, Legendary Ninian really helped out with her 3 movement and self-refreshing. So now we get to Team 4, and this is my crown jewel. Ascended Celica is such a slept-on unit. You don't see her that much, but did I fucking utilize her to the max. I have so many good skills on her. Attack speed finish, pulse smoke. I just think this is her best build. I don't have no follow-up on here because I have wait, why don't I have Legendary Eliwood. Wait, fuck. Why do I not have no follow-up? Okay, anyways, I don't have no follow-up on her, but that's okay. It was somewhere on there. Maybe instead of bonus of her, I probably had no follow-up Sacred Seal. But this team probably got unlocked somewhere in the past few days. Anyways, this team is really strong. I have Groom Raphael, who is an amazing Forma unit I recently pulled. And honestly, none of the skills matter here, except for Canto Control. This is such an incredible skill for this team. It saved me a lot of games. And then I have Duma and Spring Sonia. These are really good units. They synergize all well with each other because they're all from Echoes, the best Fire Emblem game. And I think that's enough with all the teams. One thing you might be wondering is why Team 3 is so stacked. I honestly could have swapped out Duochrome, Duothor, and Bridal Catria and spread them across Team 1, 2, and 4. But honestly, I didn't really care that much. I thought Team 2 and Team 4 were already strong enough, and I didn't need them to get banned because I had Duothor on them. So anyways, that's enough for the teams. Let's get straight into the replays, shall we? Okay, let's check out these replays, and unfortunately, there is a limit to how many replays you can have per season. So I started in tier, I believe, 16 this season, and so it only starts with the matches in tier 18. And I think it's fine because we get to still see a lot of my victories, but what kind of sucks is that we only get to see 2 of my defeats. And 2 of my defeats happened pretty early on when I was still in tier 17. So yeah, but it's okay because I bet you guys are mainly for the insane amount of victories. More specifically, the insane amount of Celica victories I've had, and I'm really excited to show these off. So anyways, let's start with our very first match against Soleil Dark. Alright, first match is against a Hans Captain, very interesting unit. But first, let's take a quick preview of my team since you'll be seeing the Celica a lot today. I've got a really nice Infinite Miracle build with Finish and Noontime providing healing, and there's the no follow-up seal. I knew I wasn't going crazy, I had it on her. Yeah, I have low speed res as well to ensure that she doesn't die and lose speed checks, and Pulse Smoke denies AoE specials, one of Celica's biggest weaknesses. Next I have a +1 Legendary Eliwood who's providing Sonya and Celica that Kanto and bonus doubler effect. And you might have noticed that I don't have Quicken Pulse on Sonya, and that's because Groom Raphael is actually accelerating Sonya's special trigger. So I can afford to run Squad Ace, whatever Squad Ace seal that is, so that Celica and Sonya can match attack stats. And finally, I have Raphael and Duma, who are really nice support units who just make everything on this team run smoothly. Cancel Control and Far Save are just amazing. As for the opponent's side, they've got a really interesting team, a ton of support units actually, which I'm not really too keen on, but hey, I have a ton of supports units too. They do have a Harmonic Cordelia, which is interesting, but the problem with Harmonic Cordelia is that really she's only good with ranged units to provide that Brave effect. I don't think, yeah, that adjacency condition is pretty hard for the Hans to meet. Especially since, yeah, Cell can just go in without any worries and just destroy everything with range attacks and immediately retreat back with Kanto 1. So, yeah. What is cool about this team is that Hans' Vital Astra is getting pre-charged by Valoria since they are supported with each other. Some flaws you might notice with their team is Hans has Oath 4, even though their captain skill is Tandem Form, kind of interesting. Also, they have Harmonic Cordelia, so there's a lot of redundancy with this team. But yeah, I just can, because they have no Far Save unit, I can just kind of go in and just go to town with my ranged units. It doesn't really matter what they can do.
A song of blessing.
Enjoy yourselves. May this land prosper!
And that's about GG's. I pop a duo skill here. This is just BM at this point, but yeah, very nice match against my opponent, and I think they just surrender here. Yeah. So GG's. On to the next match. Alright, second match is up against a YouTuber. Oh no, DTM Faye. Well, let's see how this goes. Their team is considerably weaker than mine, but they do have some strong pieces on the board, such as a Hardy Fighter Athune, Bridal Catria, and Arvel. Erica, unfortunately, is not going to do much for them because, well, she can't outspeed Celica.
I've got my eye out.
Okay, starting off turn 2, I move Eliwood closer to Celica because next turn I'm going to try to go in and basically swap my Eliwood with Celica so that she can threaten more pieces on the enemy team. And yeah, both of us are just kind of stalling out our turns by singing our Far Saviors.
A song of blessing.
And my opponent here moves Arvel right above Athune, and I think this was a major mistake, because now my Sonya can move one space to the right on the river terrain, not be threatened by the Erica, and basically throw off an AoE special on the Arvel and kill the Athune in the process. And you're about to see that right now in turn 3.
You look radiant, as do you. Lose and I'll hex you.
And at this point, it's just GG. I got rid of their Far Save Athune, and now I can just freely go in with my Sonya and kill their Bridal Catria.
That's the spirit. I've got my eye out. Playtime's over, sir.
Going into match 3, I brought my Brave Seliph team, and boom, Sather immediately shuts down the opposing Yuri. Sather is +1 and has Wings of Mercy, and this is so that if Brave Seliph ever gets really low health, Sather can just swoop in thanks to Selph's Miracle, and the combination of Brave Chrom and Seliph on this map is extremely powerful, as you're going to see in my opening. My Note is +5, but honestly, she's just here to provide Pathfinder. I don't have Duo Dogger, so she's the best I got. The enemy team's got some really strong units. They've got Yuri, who doesn't have Flash of Steel, surprisingly. Eitri and Embla, really strong units. Raphael with Sudden Panic and pre-charging that AoE Yuri. And a Kaleidoscopic. And Kaleidoscopic immediately starts running away because look at that. I just immediately threatened so much space with my Seliph. And here I can just immediately get into position. And yeah, I just have free control, free reign over the map.
You can't live.
A song of blessing.
It's now turn 3, and Sather shuts down the Embla, so I'm free to go to kill the Kaleidoscopic of Seliph. Oh my gosh, Pathfinder is so fucking bullshit on this map. Yep, just a one-shot KO. I can run away. They can dance their Embla all they want, but I have attack speed solo on my Seliph, which means that I can avoid Embla's double.
You can stop this. Good luck.
Now we finish it off with Brave Seliph attacking the Embla, and boom, that is my Brave Seliph team. pretty good match, and GG's to my opponent. Alright, let's give it up for match number 4. I think this is my first one in tier 19, but guys, I gotta run this one really fast because I gotta use the restroom quick. Let's see what we have here. We have a plus 10 Yoon. Oh no, that's not good. And Seal Res 4. Jeez, this guy invested a ton into their Yoon. Flame Tana, that's really scary. Embla, also really scary. Lilith, supported with a plus 10 Brave Lysithea. Yeah, this is going to be a hard match. My Duma is not going to see any action, but at least Celica can maybe outspeed these units. We'll have to see. Okay, starting off turn 2, I'm ahead by 2 zone points, and honestly, my team is in a way better position than theirs. I moved the Eliwood down so then I can swap into Celica and hopefully snag a kill. Lysithea is really out of position, and now they just kind of sack her off here, and yeah, look at all that speed I'm getting thanks to bonus doubler. And then once we take out this Lysithea, Celica can just canto back. Ooh, guys, I don't know if I'm gonna make it. And GG's. Okay guys, I'm back. I just relieved myself at the restroom and I feel chipper as ever to review some SummonerDuels replays. Anyways, looking at this team, you might notice there's not a lot of merges, but there are a bunch of strong units, and honestly, that's all that matters. They've got the Brave Seliph and Chrom duo to traverse that trench, as we're going to see right here, and immediately take up so much space, but I came prepared for that. Next up is that legendary Byleth providing no follow-up support to pretty much everyone on the team, which is really good, but I have no follow-up on my Celica, so it doesn't matter too much. But honestly, the scariest unit on this board is that Winter Marth. Even with no merges, that Winter Marth has just enough speed to trigger his Vantage Desperation combo against my Celica and Sonya, even though they both have bonus doubler. But thankfully, Sonya's harmonic skill gives me just enough speed to be able to kill that Marth, as we're going to see in just a moment. No fucking way. Guys, even though my Celica won this match for me, do not underestimate Winter Marth. This is a +0 Winter Marth, and they prevented me from initiating combat for 2 whole phases. I had to use up a harmonic skill to do this. Yeah, Winter Marth should have totally won a Hero Rises, but it's okay. We don't want this unit roaming around in SummonerDuels.
Losing, I'll hex you.
After taking out that Winter Marth, the rest of this match is pretty cookie-cutter SummonerDuels for me. I just take out their unit, they take out mine, pretty easy. I'm ahead by a lot of points. But honestly, guys, that Winter Marth was the biggest hurdle for me this SummonerDuels season. I really don't have a lot of good answers against him, and yeah, winning those speed checks are really tight. This is why in SummonerDuels you have to be prepared for anything and everything, including old seasonals, because, you know, they can get busted refines just like that.
Here we go. Count on me.
Here we go with match number 6, and right off the bat, I am not a huge fan of the Duo Peony Captain. I get what they're doing, having Mass Confusion as their captain skill and Bridal Catria, so there's no need for tandem form. However, I still don't think you should be making a support unit, especially a non-combative dancer, as your captain.
A song of blessing.
especially on this map because you're playing a very horizontal game and there's almost no room to shelter your dancer. I mean, hell, the peony is already super deep into the zone, and that's dangerous. Because of triangle attack, I can't really go in with Celica, because then the Volcay will retaliate back with 2 brave hits. Right now, I'm just setting up my units so that Eliwood can swap in the Celica and give Sonya the extra reach she needs to take out the Peony, and also heavily weaken that Fjorm with an AoE special.
Triandra, I'm here. Playtime's over, so. You caught me.
A song of blessing.
Home is with me.
At this point, it's just GG's, well played to my opponent. And before we go into match 7, I do want to preface it by saying that, well, my next opponent is someone I absolutely dreaded to face off against in this mode. You'll see what I mean once their name appears. Yep, I'm facing the Oblivion Knight. Guys, we're in the big leagues now. Tier 20 and above is no fucking joke. And we're also finally getting to see my Yuri team. Basically how this works is Chrom helps either Yuri or Thor pre-charge their specials, and I've made this team sort of flexible with which one I need more, lethality or AoE. On my opponent's side, we have a collection of very strong units, and I am so jealous of that +6 Sather. I wish I had that.
Take this strength.
My opponent pops Hilda's duo skill, and initially I think nothing of it. Cool, I'm isolated and can't use to change fate, but I can still foul play. But then they do this. And then I realize, oh shit, this E-Tree has Smite. You son of a bitch, I know exactly what you're trying to pull off now. So I prepared myself by playing this from the back, letting their Veronica go ahead and kill one of my units.
Lean on me. Always do. Just my luck.
Do well or else.
My opponent took out my captain, so now I'm down by a point. In order to win, I need to be the one that goes in and initiates combat, but that E-Tree is making it extremely difficult to find an opening. Thankfully, I still have an ace up my sleeve, Thor's duo skill. Because E-Tree is in the same row as my Thor, I can inflict gravity on her, This gives me a lot more space to work with, and Chrom can finally get into vantage range.
Was this my fate?
Be careful.
With Sather gone, my Chrom is now in vantage range thanks to Fury and close salvo recoil. Now all I have to do is take out the duo Hilda because she's the only unit that can prevent my Chrom from counterattacking. So now Chrom can just vantage sweep the rest of my opponent's team.
A token of our thanks.
Guys, I was sweating bullets after this match. Beating Oblivion Knight is no small feat, and I'm hoping I don't have to face him again after this.
Be careful.
On to match number 8, and once again, we're gonna see my Yuri team in action. Well, that's because my Celica and Brave Celeb teams were banned, but that's not to say this team is any weaker. Having two self-refreshers in the form of Duo Chrom and Legendary Ninian provides insane mobility that this insanely close match will highlight.
I'll watch over you.
Now I've got all my units into position, and right here you're gonna see the true power of Flash of Steel Yuri.
You've had your fun.
Here, both of us are just trying to shuffle our units around. My opponent's on the offensive while I need to play passive. That's because I don't have a far save, so if my opponent kills one of my units, I need to be able to immediately respond with a counterattack, else I lose all momentum.
A token of our thanks. Just my luck.
I have two options here. I can either kill their Chrom with my own Chrom, or kill with Thor. Looking back, it seems obvious what to do here. Attack with the Chrom, and use my Thor's duo skill to inflict gravity on the Claude. But as you'll see, I did not play this smart. Now, my opponent's free to take back a piece with their Claude. Not only do they get a captain kill, but they're also ahead by 2 zone points. I'm in a bad spot, but thankfully, I still have Legendary Ninian.
I'll watch over you.
A token of our thanks. It's the day of devotion. I'm excited.
Ahead by 1 point, I have the advantage now, but the match isn't over. In order to kill the Claude, I have to use Katria's Harmonic skill to give her not only a guaranteed follow-up, but also desperation. I had to use literally everything under my belt to secure this win. What an intense match.
Take this strength.
Here! We bring
Love.
Thankfully, not all of my matches were as sweaty as the ones thus far. The next 4 battles we'll just kinda speed through because I don't think they were a just representation of my opponent's capabilities. In fact, I'm pretty sure like 2 of them just auto-battled against me. But anyways, I don't want to omit them either since I still want to showcase how powerful my teams were. So while we let these matches play out, I was going to give you all some advice and tips for this game mode. I even made a checklist for a bunch of topics I wanted to discuss, but guys, seriously, this game mode is stupidly unfair. Just use the strongest meta units and you'll rank high regardless of your experience with SD. Like, that's seriously all it is. If I had to give one piece of advice for SummonerDuels, it would be having a lot more variety in your movement assists. A bunch of people just slap reposition on everybody, and that really limits what you can do. Especially on this map, where a third of the tiles in mid are untraversable by non-flyers. In the upper echelons, you'll see a lot of drawback and swap. Most of the time, you really only want to move a unit like 1 space to get into position. The problem with reposition is that it moves a target ally 2 spaces, and that's great for PvE content where hit and run strategies are extremely good. However, in SD, overextending can mean the death of your entire team. Another cool tick that I like to use a lot, depending on the map, is Shove on my Savior unit. This allows me to maintain offensive pressure while also staying protected by my armored unit. It's pretty niche, but with the right units, it can be very powerful. This is gonna wrap up a series of pretty free wins. And hey, do you guys remember when I said I hope to never fight Oblivionite again? Well, my queuing luck can only go so far. Of course, I had to face Oblivionite again. And this time, he brought his Embla team. That works for me because I've got no save unit anyways, so what kind of tricks did he bring this time? Well, it seems to be a mixture of hyper offense and defensive sustain, with Sonya, Embla, and Paula frontlining while Ymir and Hector support from the back. Honestly, perfectly fine team. Paula's got even Tempest, so I gotta watch out for that. I do have Duo Thor to inflict stall, but Ymir can just neutralize those penalties.
Take this strength.
I go in with my Yuri to get some free chip damage on the Embla, and this actually forces my opponent into moving Embla forward. Originally, she wasn't protected by the Hector, since she was on the river, And because of that, next turn, I've got a lethality with her name on it. Unless they want to lose their Embla, my opponent has to move her forward and sacrifice Hector in the process. Here I've got some options. I can go ahead and kill the Embla, preventing my opponent from getting a captain kill. Or I can kill the Paula to completely obliterate any offensive pressure they may have.
You are not alone.
I ultimately choose the Paula because with hit and run and Lady Blade, she can retreat back 3 spaces, and none of my units can really contest that.
Your future is undone.
Just my luck.
And with this revenge kill on Embla, I can proudly say that I beat Oblivion Knight not once, but twice in the same SDS season. How cool is that? Next up, we're facing someone I actually lost against earlier during my season. In fact, it was this exact team I lost against, with the Brave Lysithea and Brave Edelgard. Even worse, I've brought the exact same team. You would think that after the first loss, I would try to change it up, but nope, get ready for the rematch of the century. First thing I want to point out is that Brave Edelgard. With Close Defense 4, she's the perfect counter to my Brave Seliph, as she survives a round of combat against him. But, due to my earlier bout against my opponent, I now know this information. So, I have a plan. With Pathfinder, Sather can apply chip damage to Edelgard, and over time, this damage will allow my Seliph to get a perfect lethal against their Edelgard. Wait and see how close this kill was. Once again, every stat point matters in SD.
I shall protect all.
Let's go. With Edelgard down, Seliph and Chrom can just go to town against the rest of their team.
Your life is ours to take.
Like my father.
Because I'm ahead and have more mobility than my opponent, I can stall out the turns with a harmonic skill.
Cheer up, okay?
Instead of using my Kanto movement, I just plant Chrom right where he is. As a result, Lysithea is forced to stay where she is to kill Chrom. Then, my Seliph can go the perfect distance to take her out.
I shall protect all.
Next up, we're facing someone who has an incredibly scary team. Winter Cordelia, Flame Tana, and Legendary Alm all have perfect synergy with each other. The combination of the Orders buff, Lunar Flash, Brave attacks, and Kanto is not to be underestimated. In addition, there's a freaking duo Marth. We already saw how threatening he was against my team due to the lack of melee threats on my side. Even worse, that Marth has 4 merges. Finally, Legendary Myrrh is here to stop Sonya's fun and prevent her from warping in. This is going to be a tough match. Starting turn 2, both of us have our units in position. They pop Marth's duo skill, which grants him bonus doubler. However, my Celica has low speed res, which neutralizes those bonuses. Additionally, my opponent doesn't really have that much speed support compared to the person we fought earlier. Therefore, my Celica is fast enough to pick up that kill. After defeating the Marth, my Celica is snuggled right in the perfect spot to avoid brave hits from the Myrrh and Tana and attacks from the Alm. They're gonna have to waste a turn repositioning their Myrrh, and even if they do reposition her, under Duma's protection, Celica can cheat death and avoid dying to her husband Alm.
It's over.
Now that Duma and Raphael are gone, Eliwood's vision of Arcadia is no more, meaning Celica and Sonya are not getting Kanto support. The fight isn't over. Myrrh is still preventing Sonya from warping, and I still have to be wary of Dual Strike from Alm.
Look at the snow. It's gorgeous.
What my opponent can do here is move Myrrh or Cordelia to the right, so that Alm can trigger Dual Strike, killing my Celica and ending the match. The logical play for me is to swap Celica with Eliwood, or move Eliwood down and draw back Celica with Sonya. Of course, in the heat of the moment, I do neither of these moves. In fact, I make the worst move possible.
Let our beauty enchant you.
What? Why did I do that? But it's okay, I can still recover from this.
Face the future.
I can just take out the Cordelia to deny dual strikes. And at this point, I have a captain, they don't have their captain. It's GG's.
You caught me. With Milla's strength. With Milla's strength.
Okay, finally, we get to see my first loss. Well, technically my third loss, but the first two matches, of course, we don't have access to. Anyways, this Brave Dimitri team was something I absolutely dreaded to see. In hindsight, I should have banned this, and I don't know why I didn't. Disregarding those merges, Bonus Doubler Dimitri and Asker hard counter my team, since I don't have Duo Thor or Bridal Catria to brute force my way through these Omni tanks. I try to play this with some clever tactics going outside the zone. My plan is to get Seliph low enough so that Sather and Dorothea can warp around the map, allowing me to take out the support units. But things don't really go to plan. Even with +6 to speed and defense alongside bonus doubler in a weapon, my note is still not tanky enough to withstand a Vital Astra Brave Dimitri. But funnily enough, they put their Dimitri right in front of my Sather, disabling his own action at the start of turn 3. This didn't really matter, but I thought it was still funny. Okay, things don't look that terrible right now. Dimitri can't move, and Seliph is in Wings of Mercy range. I just need to kill the Yoon and warp in Sather and Dorothea so that we can take out the Eliwood. But I really misplay with my Kanto movement. I should definitely be playing more aggressively here, but I'm just way too scared to confront that Eliwood. Big mistake on my part.
You can't lose.
I shall protect all. By my father's lance.
I only wanted. Good luck.
Do I still not measure up?
Alright, next match. We have a person with a +10 Fjorm. Wow. We love to see wasted investments. I'm just kidding. Please don't hurt me. I love Fjorm too, but not as much as Sather. Anyways, my opponent does an interesting opening. Not sure how much Sather is gonna do against a red far save, but be my guest. I'm just gonna do my box standard opening. You all have seen this like 10 times by now.
We can see this through.
And this play is why I don't think reposition is very good in SummonerDuels. They just advanced their Edelgard 2 spaces forward. This is such an overextension, she's barely protecting anyone at this point. Even worse, Edelgard is now in the range of Sonya's AoE special. Yeah, swap or drawback would have been way better in this situation.
Lose and I'll hex you.
Caught me.
Love overflowing.
Cheer up, okay?
There's not much my opponent can realistically do here, but the best position for Fjorm is 2 spaces away from Raphael. And my opponent does make the correct move here. Good on them. And the reason why that's the best move is because now my Celica cannot attack without Raphael moving.
As petals fall.
May this land prosper.
Time for the penultimate match. After this will be my last battle, which was of course a loss. Anyways, get ready to see my bread and butter Celica opening for like the 20th time.
I've got my eye out.
Love overflow.
Because of mass confusion and attack speed menace from the Erica, my Celica is debuff out the wazoo, and I can't really initiate on the Black Knight, otherwise Celica will actually be below her miracle threshold. So I pull back my Celica, and I don't know if I'm a genius or I'm playing some massive mind games with my opponent here, but I think pulling back my Celica made my opponent think that she couldn't take out the Black Knight, which is not true. She can easily kill him, it's just staying above 25% health is what I was worried about. As a result, my opponent gets way too confident and pushes their Veronica forward, ironically helping me, because now my Celica can initiate on the Black Knight and canto back to Duma's far safe protection.
The winter festival is upon us.
I will protect everyone. Give in.
Love overflow.
I've got my eye out. Lose and I'll hex you.
Let our beauty enchant you.
What?
My opponent did a pretty smart play. After repositioning the emblem with Erica, they've put themselves in the perfect spot to avoid an attack from Celica. This is something we've seen before, and I think people are getting a lot better at taking advantage of this weakness that ranged units have.
You caught me. Alm is with me.
Right behind you.
Let's go, we love to see Raphael kills.
May this land prosper.
Here we are at the final match. Thank you all so much for sticking to the end through all these replays. I am not the best SummonerDuels player, and that's frankly because I don't have the best units for this mode. Even still, I was able to reach top 100, and I hope this video can be useful to those who want to know what sort of goes on in top level SDS gameplay. But more importantly, this last match is what I believe everyone thinks is the quintessential SummonerDuels experience. You know what? I'll let the match speak for itself.